Hey YouTubers and gamers, and I'm back, and today it's a sort of special pickup video. I haven't got several things to show you, just one thing more than anything else, and it's it's an arcade stick of sorts, I suppose, a special one. What it is that, but before I get started with that, I mustn't forget the game, name of the game, and we have here Hatchet and Blank Gap in the Bottom. So can you guess, pretty much all the words apart from and in have been substituted by a different word, and some of them are more similar to the original word than others, but see if you can guess the game. I think the first half gives a big clue to what the game will be, but the second half will be a bit more trickier, so by all means leave your answers in the comment section below. Okay, I'll leave that up there. Okay, back to the pickup. As I was saying, I've got one pickup to show you, and it was a bit of a pricey pickup, so it's only a one to show you. Let's hope that doesn't fall and break my head. It's trying to, isn't it? Okay, it's staying there for a minute. Okay, basically it's a customised arcade stick I've got to show you, and the styling I went for. Well, let me go back a bit first of all. First of all, I was thinking of getting. I was looking at those Pandora box arcade sticks that a lot of people have got, and you get them imported quite cheaply from China and or shops like AliExpress and stuff. But I was a bit put off by the build quality of those, and also the fact that you know, they're not Japanese parts, probably Chinese ones. And they are, you know, you're limited a number of games. I think, you know, most you can get is about 1,000 or whatever games type things, and really there's a lot more games than that. I like to be able to play and have emulators and stuff. So I thought, I don't know, I'll get a customised Raspberry Pi 3 arcade stick done. And the colour scheme I went for was something very similar. What it is, I have a Huawei Saturn controller here, and they call it a Fighting Commander SS. Sounds like the Nazis, doesn't it? But anyway, basically it's got a cool controller by Huawei, made in Japan. It's got all the turbo buttons, but it's got a mixture of a black body, green action buttons, and a yellow D-pad, and there's also an arcade stick that they made, which is all made out of metal with a similar colour scheme, with yellow action and start and select buttons, and all the rest are green buttons. And I've been wanting to get one of those arcade sticks, and I thought I got one, but it never arrived, so I got refunded in the end. That special Huawei Japanese arcade stick, but I will get one in the future, and by all means, some of you might not know what I'm talking about, but you'll see them on the internet, and you'll see it in the future when I do get one anyway, proper Saturn arcade stick that's done in the same styling by Huawei. But I wanted my own arcade stick to be done in the same sort of style, because I thought it looks rather cool, quite unique. Not many people have got these, and also it matches my LCD monitor. I've got a gaming monitor which is made by Huawei as well, which I'll show you in a bit, which is also Huawei. So without further delay, shall we have a look at the arcade stick? Okay, here she is. Bring that closer to the camera. So it's obviously modelled on the Huawei SS Fighting Commander. Same colour scheme buttons. This is made from Sanwa parts though, and the body is all one piece aluminium that's been powder coated. It's got real heavy duty rubber feet, proper Sanwa, like I said, buttons and controller. It's got a on top of the metal top there is a Perspex top, and at the back where the inputs are for the for the power supply, HDMI and the USB is extremely neat. Look at that. All screwed to the main body for extra protection. So pretty much this is a Monty arcade stick, and inside it is a Raspberry Pi 3 which has also a 200 GB memory card. So I've got about 8,000 games in here. So without further delay, let's give you a quick show. Okay, so let's turn on the power to the monitor. Comes on. And while that's coming on, I'll plug in the power supply, which is, as you know, with Raspberry Pi there's no on and off switch, it's just purely a power supply. And it takes a little while to boot up. Some of you might already remember I already have an Android portable system. This has got about 6,500 games on, which is more handy when I want to go out and, you know, if I travel, you know, take a flight, I can take them. That and a couple of PS3 controllers and this, and it's more portable, more on the go. But I wanted the built-in arcade stick version, and now we've got the Raspberry Pi 3. It's more powerful and it can handle the more demanding emulators such as Nintendo 64 games much better. The irony is that this is obviously a Sega Saturn style controller, but obviously the Raspberry Pi 3 can't handle the Sega Saturn in that emulator yet. But it might change at some point in the future, and if it does, and I do decide to upgrade the Raspberry Pi 3 inside, it's doable. I can still use the same arcade shell and parts, so we'll see. But still, saying that, there's 8,000 games, so I think there's enough games in this system anyway to keep me busy with. And I went as far to include a few core games on my want list as well. So there were certain PS1 games and 64 games I wanted added to a system. So yeah, basically it's anyone familiar with a RetroPie emulator, you'll seen all this. Last played, I've got my favourites. It's about 1,400 favourite games I've got on there so far. Well, in total there's 8,249 games in total. And so let's go through all the emulators. So obviously you've got the Atari 2600, ColecoVision, the Dreamcast, and on there we've got Aqua GT, Metropolis, Street Racer, hang on, let's go back in there, yeah, Shenmue and Soul Calibur. So you know, a few good selection from the Dreamcast. Obviously got Nintendo Game & Watch games. Most of them work okay, but not all of them. It's about 55 games on there. The Game Boy is about 562 games there. Game Boy Advance, 1,037 games there, quite hot. In Television, about 120 games there. Sega Master System, about 271 games. Genesis, 766. In the Nintendo 64, there's just 27 games. But I've got on here the core ones I wanted. So you've obviously got your Castlevanias and Doom and Duke Nukem, F-Zero, Kirby 64, Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. We've got a few other games like Mace, Mario Golf, Mario Kart 64, Mario Party. Quest 64, that's an unusual one I don't know too much about. It looks interesting. Star Fox 64, Star Soldier, a Japanese game and US game, but I don't think it came out in Europe. I think it's just the States and Japan. Star Soldier Vanishing Earth, I got them to put that on there. StarCraft 64, Superman 64, Super Smash Bros. Tsuzumi Tubatsu Hoshi no Keshou, whatever. That's a Japanese name for Sin and Punishment game. Exclusive shooter, so I wanted that on here as well, and they put that on there for me. I found it on the game too. Yeah, so it's got the core Nintendo 64 games, and obviously with them being analog, the best way of playing them is to use like another controller, which I just plug the wired Xbox 360 controller in. Raspberry Pi does have Bluetooth and stuff set in and Wi-Fi, so I could go for a wireless controller, but I don't mind using that. Anyway, Neo Geo games, 141 games, and they're all cool. I think that's a whole collection really, because there's no repeats or doubles. NES, 781 games, that must be a whole lot. There's a few interesting ports as well. We've got Brutal Doom, that modern take on Doom, Duke Nukem 3D. Got the Quake Episode 5, Quake Mission Pack 1 and 2. PSP Minis. There are 290 PSP Minis on there, and surprisingly how many little shooters are on there too, really, so that's a nice bonus. On the PS1, 135 games, and I did go ask for all the core ones, so obviously classics like Alien Resurrection and you know, all the Final Fantasy, Castlevania games, you know, Soul Calibur, Contra, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro Dragon, Dino Crisis, Resident Evil games, Duke Nukem, Fear Effect, Final Doom and stuff, Gran Turismo games, you know, but basically all the best games from the PS1, Mega Man games too from the PS1 library, so Metal Gear Solid as well, Pandemonium. Oh, there is a hell of a lot of good riding games. Ridge Racer, Rayman. You know, basically the best games of the system are all on there. Suikoden 2, Street Fighter games, Strider 2, Tekken games. Got more of a shooters like Riding Project. Yeah, so it was a really good selection of PS1 games. So RetroPie, which goes in the option for RetroPie. Scum VM, which is like there's not point and click, it's those quick response type games. Well, some are point and click games. So you've got all the Broken Sword and Indiana Jones games, Discworld games. Eye of the Beholder, Dungeons & Dragons, more indie games. Yeah, so it's all the classic point and click games. It is Monkey Island games, Police Quest, Space Quest. Yeah, so it's quite a hell of a lot of games to get stuck in there. All the King Quest games as well. There's quite a few of those too. So yeah, 32X emulate, which I really wanted. So it's got all the entire library. I think of 32 games. I think that's right. So yeah, that's really neat to have. They seem to play fine using this arcade setup. Sega CD, about 53 games on there. I think the best one obviously is what's the last one I'm thinking of? Let's get my mind. It's got the Shining games, which are quite pricey, which I do have. But most importantly, it's got Snatcher. I do have Snatcher, but it's nice to have it on an emulator. Oh, excuse me. So that's really cool. Yeah. Super Nintendo, 784 games. I don't know if that's whole library or not, but probably close to it. 94 games on the TurboGrafx or PC Engine, which is really cool as well. There's lots of classic shooters on there. Even Vectrex, 26 games on there, and it just goes into different folders like Atari Classics, Beat 'em Ups, Capcom Classics, Castlevania games. It's also got obviously the Capcom 1, 2 and 3, all the arcade games. For all the Data East games, IREM Classics, Konami Classics, Mario Classics, Mega Man, Midway Classic, Namco, NES Classics, Sega, Shoot 'em Ups, SNK Classics, or Sonic, Tata Classics, Williams Classics. But basically, it's all the arcade games. And like I said, there's about 2,241 arcade games there, which is a huge collection, really. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's come out that and shut that down. Yes, and that shuts it down. Okay, guys, that's my all one built-in arcade stick. It really is, you know, it's got a good bit of weight on it. It feels good. It's very responsive, and it's you know, it's lovely. It was custom built by this seller on eBay. You're probably asking how much it cost me. Well, basically, if you were to take all the parts and do it yourself, this probably cost me double that, because obviously I've got someone else to do it. So, you know, I guess, you know, you could have got the Raspberry Pi for about 30 odd quid. The memory stick's about another 50, so probably about £80. The Samurai parts, I don't know, about another 20 or 30. I don't know how much they would cost. So it probably would have got, and all the casing and everything, it probably would have cost you about, if you had the skills, that is, and time, it probably would have cost you about 140 quid. This cost me about, I'm afraid it was about £260. So basically, it's not cheap, and I don't have the time or the skills to put one of these together myself. I know Raspberry Pis aren't that too complicated, but it's still time to find all the ROMs and stick them all on and sort out any teething issues or problems and stuff. It's just nice it's all there, and you know, there's no way on earth I could have built this, you know, not to this standard. You know, it's a proper aluminium body. It's not easy to. There's lots of plastic shells out there, cheaper shells, but this is you know, this is like a professional, in my opinion, arcade stick, and it's really nice, and it's quite unique. But saying that, the seller has taken pictures of this after he made it and posted it on his eBay shop, so if anyone wanted to buy one that looked like this, they could, I suppose. But anyway, this is my little arcade stick setup. From previous videos, you do know I do have a PC two-stick arcade system in the game room, and I've got this Android one and this now, so I've got quite a few ways. And also I've got a modded Wii too, so I've got loads of ways of playing emulators and modded games and stuff like that. But I wanted a nice arcade stick so I could just sit here and play games when I want to, which is nice and neat. Anyway guys, that's it for now. By all means, leave any comments, like and subscribe, and until next time, take care and bye.